Grammar section, Class 10. In the CBSE syllabus, it consists of tenses, modals, determiners, subject-verb concord, and reported speech. Let's start one by one. You know, there are 3 tenses: past, present, and future. There are subparts of these tense that are simple, continuous, perfect, and perfect continuous. First, let's see past tense. Simple past tense. If an action took place, it is simple past tense. Some examples are, he ate all the food. The student passed the exam. You see that there's always second form of verb after the subject. Thus, in simple past tense, there is just the second form of verb after the subject. Now, past continuous tense. This is when the action was happening on the past. For example, he was eating the food. The student was writing the assignment. You see, here, the continuous form of verb is used, that is, first form of verb, plus ing. And before that, was or were is used. So, for past continuous tense, the format is, subject, then was or were, then verb plus ing. Now, past perfect tense. It is used when the action was already completed in the past. For example, he had eaten all the food. The student had done his assignment. You see, here, that after the subject, there's had, and then, the third form of verb. So, in past perfect tense, after subject, there's had, plus third form of verb. If past perfect is, when something was completed in the past, and past continuous, when something was happening in the past, then what is past perfect continuous? It is, when the action was started in the past, and continued for some time. For example, he had been eating all the food. The student had been writing the assignment for years. You see, here, after the subject, had been is used, and then, verb plus ing. So, in past perfect continuous tense, it is, subject, then, had been, then, verb plus ing. Just like the past tense, the same, simple, continuous, perfect, and perfect continuous, are for present and future. Instead of wasting time of learning them one by one, let's use the past version, and some common sense. If you use first form of verb, it's simple present. And for simple future, add will or shall, then, first form of verb. Also, if the subject is singular, add s, or es, to the verb. For simple continuous, just add is, am, or are, and then, verb plus ing. For future continuous, there is, will be, the verb plus ing. For present perfect, has or have, then third form of verb. For future, will have, then, third form of verb. For present perfect continuous, has or have been, then verb plus ing. For future, there is, will have been. You don't have to remember this all. Just use common sense. Only then it will make any sense. And for that, you have to read the examples. Reading examples will help you more than memorizing the formats. Want to try some questions? Now, modals. Modals are used before the verb to indicate if something is possible, necessary, or desirable. There are many modals, but we will do the ones which come in the exam. First, can. It's used to show ability or possibility. For example, we can win. And we use could if the ability or possibility was in past. For example, we could have won yesterday. May. It is used to show likelihood. For example, it may rain soon. The difference between can and may is that can expresses a possibility, but may expresses a higher chance of possibility. For example, it can rain soon. It shows that it is possible that it will rain. And it may rain soon. it shows that it is more likely that it will rain. Might. Now, might is similar to may. The difference is that it shows lesser possibility. Must. It is used to show necessity or duty. For example, you must wear seat belts in a train. Should. It is used to give advice or suggestion. For example, you should get enough sleep. Ought to. It is also used to show duty. For example, we ought to help others in exams. Ought to is used when the suggestion is stronger than should. But it is not stronger than must, because must is used when the suggestion is strict. So, in order of strength of the advice, must is used for strongest advice, then ought to, and then should. Similarly, shall is also used for advice. Will is also a modal, and you certainly know what it is used for. Then, would. It is used to show a habitual action. For example, I would go to the park when I was a child. It is also used to show conditional action. For example, you would get better marks if you studied harder. Now, these were the uses in simple sentences. What if there are questions? Almost all of these modals can be used in interrogative sentences. The most used are can, may, could and would are also used in questions. Can is used if the permission is asked informally. For example, can you keep quiet? May is used when it is used formally, when the question is to some respected person. For example, may I go to drink water? And then, there are could and would. Both of them are used when there is a request, a polite request. For example, could you help me? What's the difference between could and would? They are similar, and for making a polite request, could is more often used. Would is also used for asking. For example, would you like some tea? Don't worry much about similar modals. CBSE asks only easy questions, and if you have common sense, you can easily choose which is the right option. Want to try some questions? Now, determiners. They are used before nouns to determine what the noun refers to. There are 5 types of determiners. Articles, that are a, an, and the. Demonstrative, that are this, that, these, and those. Possessive, that are my, your, theirs, etc. Distributive, that are each, every, etc. And quantifiers, that are some, few, many, etc. You know, if noun is definite, means, if the noun refers to a specific thing, then, the is used. If the noun is indefinite, means, it does not refer to a specific thing, then, or an is used. For example, the dog chased the tiger. Here, the dog is a specific dog, not any dog. For example, a person was sitting at the bench. By reading the question, you will know if the noun is referring to something specific or not. And, if not specific, you know, as used, when the starting sound of the noun is consonant, and an is used, when the starting sound of the noun is vowel. For example, uniform is lying on the bed. What will you say, or an? Because you have to see the starting sound, not the starting letter. Sound can be consonant, even if the letter is vowel, and vice versa. You know where demonstrative determiners are used. If a singular noun is near, use this. If a singular noun is far, use that. If a plural noun is near, use these. If a plural noun is far, use those. Possessive determiners, like my, your, his, her, its, our, and their. You already know which one is used when. Distributive determiners. They refer to members of a group. To refer individual members of a group, use each and every. What is the difference between each and every? Each is used when you're talking about individual items or people separately. For example, each student received the book. On the other hand, every is used when you're talking about all the items or people as a whole group. For example, every student in the class received the book. If there is a group of two, and if both of them are referred, it's either, and if none of them are referred, then neither. The last one, quantifiers. As the name suggests, they tell about the quantity of the noun. Little and few. Both are used to refer to a small amount. The difference is that little is used before uncountable noun, while few is used for countable nouns. For example, there is little milk left. And there are few bottles left. You cannot count milk, but you can count bottles. Also, a little and a few are used. They are similar to little and few. Few and little are used to show lack of the things, but a few and a little shows small amount, but still doesn't show scarcity. For example, I have a few pens. And I have few pens. In the first, it doesn't tell that I have less pens than I want, but in the second line, it shows that they are not enough. Some, it is used to tell moderate amount of something. Much and many. They're used to tell big amount of the noun. The difference is, much is used with uncountable, while many is used with countables. For example, there's much milk left. And there are many bottles of milk. If the amount is even bigger, the determiner used is a lot of. Now, subject-verb concord, or subject-verb agreement, means the subject and the verb related to it should have the same number, means if the subject is singular, the verb should be singular, and if the subject is plural, verb should be plural. The main thing is to identify what the subject is. For example, one of the students always dash late. What is the subject? Obviously, it is not students, but one, which is singular. So, the verb will be singular, that is, comes. Because, you know that, if the subject is singular, s or es is added to the verb. Except for I, we, and you. These are singular, but still, we use the plural verb, that is, no s or es. In simple words, consider I, we, and you, as plurals. Also, has is used for singular, in present tense, have is used for plural, in present tense. Had is used both for singular and plural, in past tense. Take an example. The teacher, along with her students, attending the seminar. Is, or are. It will be, is. Because, when along with, is used, the subject is considered singular. If the joining words are, along with, as well as, in addition to, together with, including, and besides, the subject is considered as singular, and thus, the verb will be used for singular. If the word is, like and, then it will be considered plural. There are also words, like or, either, neither. The subject can be considered singular or plural. If both nouns are plural, then the verb will be plural, but if singular, the verb will be singular. For example, the diplomat or assistant sleeping. Here, both the nouns are singular, so the verb will be singular, that is. Take an example, diplomats and assistants sleeping. Here, both are plural, so verb will be plural, that is, are. But what if one noun is singular, and the other, plural? In that case, you have to consider the noun closer to the verb. For example, the diplomats are assistants-sleeping. The closer noun is assistants, that is, plural, so, are. If the subject is pronoun, such as anybody, anyone, no one, somebody, someone, everybody, everyone, etc., are treated as singular subject, so the singular verb will be used. For example, everyone-babu. Here, everyone is a singular subject, so, hates. If the sentence is about a wish, then plural verb is used, according to the context. For example, I wish I dash a child. Here, where will be used, not was. Also remember, if the subject is uncountable, amount of something or a collective noun, singular verb is used. For example, friendship is priceless. 100 rupees is a good amount. The team was losing. Want to try some questions? Reported speech. It is used to report a speech. For example, if the speech is, Gavin, I don't like ice cream, then the reported speech will be, Gavin said that he didn't like ice cream. What is the process to convert the direct speech into reported speech? Let's take an example. John, I am going to the store. Could you pick up some groceries for me? Write the name of the speaker, then the reporting verb, and that. The reporting verb can be many, for example, asked, said, assured, offered. You can choose according to the context. For example, if the speech is a question, use asked, etc. The tense also changes. If the direct speech is in past, it converts into the perfect form. Means, if simple past, it will become past perfect. If past continuous, it will be past perfect continuous. If past perfect continuous, or past perfect, it will remain the same. What happens to the present tense? It converts into its past form. Means, simple present will change to simple past, present continuous to past continuous, present perfect to past perfect, and present perfect continuous to past perfect continuous. If there is future tense, then you just have to replace will with would. As simple as that. In this example, the tense is present continuous, so it will change to past continuous. That is, am will change to was. The first person pronouns, like I, me, etc., are changed according to the subject. Here, the subject is a male person, so I will be changed to he. If there is a second person pronoun, it is also changed. Here, it is you. Because the speaker was talking to you, the second person pronoun will change to first person. So, it will change to I, or me, according to the context. And third person pronoun does not change, in most cases. What happens to the question? If the question is a yes-no question, use if, or whether, and if it is a WH question, just continue with it. In this example, it is a yes-no question, so use if. And change the word order to make it a statement. In this example, could you will become you could. And also you will change to I. Some words are changed. This becomes that, gesture now becomes then, today becomes that day, tomorrow becomes the next day, yesterday becomes the previous day, etc. Also the modals convert into their past forms, can becomes could, shall becomes should, will become would, etc. What happens to imperative sentences? That is, orders, or requests. Before the words that refer to the order or request, add the word to and let the verb in the original form. Means, if the verb is sleep, just change it to sleep. Don't change the verb into past tense. Other than that, just follow the same rules of changing words and pronouns, etc. For example, teacher, take out your textbooks and turn to page 50. Use a reporting verb, like asked or requested, and add to. Pronoun your will be changed to are. If you cannot absorb all of these things at once, just use common sense, which will come by trying questions. So, the best thing will be to try some previous year questions. But first, if you think this video helped you, then like the video and subscribe my channel for more such videos.